Hello everybody, Andrew Casey from Hypersanity Books, and today I'll be discussing my top 10 hated male characters in fiction. This will come between personality types, not necessarily specific characters, different character traits. This is just certain things that I see in fiction that I don't like. There are categories that I don't like that I won't be touching on. Otherwise, let's just get into it. Number 10, the entitled child. This type of character will come in all different age categories. We're just saying child for argument's sake. This is usually entitled to inheritance, entitled to owning the parent's company. It comes into other various types of entitlements. I'm special, so I deserve a raise. I'm special because my mummy told me I'm special. There are different entitlements that this character feels that they deserve. Usually you see this character in teenage characters that are playing video games and won't go outside, won't go to different family functions, various issues like that. The entitled child is a type of character that I'm seeing more and more. Sometimes it can work in fiction to tell a story or show character development, though I do get sick of seeing this one. Number 9, the dumb jock. This is usually a character with an IQ of 70 below. It comes in the form, usually you'll see this character as the dumb jock, you'll usually see this character as a quarterback, sometimes the captain of a football team. It's something I'm not seeing as often in fiction. I do get annoyed when I do see it. I feel my own frustrations, and this is just my own personal point of view. In some ways it worked in the movie Revenge of the Nerds, how he developed over movies. There was also Kevin from Daria. This particular character worked well because it touched on a lot of social themes around the other characters threading in with this character. When the dumb jock is the main character, I find that extremely frustrating because usually the story isn't really heading anywhere. Number 3, people pleaser. I don't mind this character to some extent. I don't take advantage of the people pleaser in my personal life. I used to be a people pleaser years ago. I'm not like that now. This type of character I do find frustrating if the character isn't developing, and I want to make that clear with this video as well. The characterization is effective if the character is developing through the narrative. Otherwise, the people pleaser can get repetitive because of trying to make everyone else happy but who? Themselves. And even if they succeed and they're not happy, that's the ultimate failure. Number 4, gangster with tunnel vision. Normally you see this in this sorts of shows and movies. It is a realistic interpretation. Don't get me wrong, I do agree with how the characters are designed. I also do get sick of seeing it because you do find resolutions in some aspects of life, and this type of character doesn't. This type of character seeks revenge. It's always, you did something to us, we do something to you, and it's the same recycled formula. Number 5, financial misers. This type of character can come in different forms. It's different ways that the character operates. So this also comes down to the mindset of the character, because there are some rich people who will know way too much about the market rise and fall in shares and stocks, etc. There are other characters who fit in this category who are shit broke but will turn up somewhere without their wallet or expect to be entitled again to having a free meal. So this is the sort of friend that gets annoying really fast. So in my personal life, I've had some other people talking about meeting up, but can you pay? And it's like, come on, we're in our 30s, late 30s. You need to do something with your life to get your finances in order. So this type of character I find frustrating. Some can go to very different extremes on how they count pennies or how they know exactly what it's going to take in their fuel. They're doing it, it's too much of a science behind it. Sometimes this character, though, can also be a struggling character and struggling financially, So this character can fit into your story through certain hard times and what they had to do to such extremes to overcome certain realistic obstacles. I normally do see this character in male characters though. Number 6, unbearable bleakness to oversharing. This character will talk about your personal life, other people's personal life at the wrong time. I find this is where TMI is used. Sometimes this is intentional to be offensive. Sometimes I realise it's actually not intentional to be offensive. It's just being bleak to the matter. Number 7, the anointed one. I normally see this type of character. We can normally say it comes in different religious categories. I'm just saying it's anointed because, you know, they deserve something. This type of character, you normally see them with really weird religious views, like in the TV show Resurrection, where it's coming to the point to even kill a newborn baby and getting other people to believe it. This type of religious figure is something I do get sick of seeing. I also feel like the religious tropes do get used in a lot of modern things. I get it. There's issues here. There's not issues there. I feel it's getting a little bit overdone where religion is being a big part of the main plot to stories. However, it does work in a lot of cases. I just do get sick of seeing the character because when it comes to children and killing them, that's some really serious red flags. Number 8, political correctness. I really get sick of seeing this. I am seeing too much of someone that's got to point out the political correctness in everything.
Oh, dude, bro. Yes, cute little buggers, aren't they? 3 boys and 2 girls. I think it's wrong to force gender specification upon them at this young age. Funny, that's exactly what their mother said.
And I feel this is getting worse. Sometimes it can be necessary to certain parts of the story, I get it. There is also another part where I feel like the author is throwing something down your throat. There are other times it can be used to pay out on political correctness. I like that side of things. Number 9, manipulative narcissistic victim. The victim is, in some things, is starting to become more common in male characters, I'm noticing. There is a professor that I know that in America that uses South Park as a reference tool, and one way a lot of this character works is in the character Eric Cartman, calling him out. There are so many manipulative and social themes that are used within the series. And with this character, I'm not saying I'm promoting it, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, these references. Though this professor asks his students to watch these episodes and break down the social aspects. And the most common trait of Eric Cartman is being the narcissistic victim. This type of character helps unfold the story. So as a close antagonist, there are boundaries that certain characters need to set when dealing with this type of character. And I think the more we do follow certain trends of fiction and use certain antagonistic characters, they can help unfold the narrative. And if it's done in a way to be simple, and that's what I did like with Cobra Kai, they're simple explanations and the story's unfolding in a simple way, but it's touching on a complicated subject matter to make the viewer or make the reader think about their personal life and how will this affect me. Number 10, sexual conquests. We are seeing this mostly in college stories. There are other characters that are grown up but have that type of lifestyle, such as Glenn Quagmire. Yeah, normally with these sorts of teen fiction, the character can get themselves into a lot of trouble with their conquests, especially if you travel overseas where there's different laws and rules and people think they're going to get what they want and find themselves getting something far worse than what they bargained for. So forms of torture. Yeah, it's a bit hard. I also don't like reading about these sorts of characters in fiction with their conquests. I feel like the author is doing something else while he's typing, if you get my drift. Yeah, oh. And then there's another part I don't like with this sort of fiction. I tried with Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh, I couldn't get into the series, just being honest with people. I want to be real with these videos. I tried with the audiobook for Game of Thrones, and hearing what was the brother or cousin brother to the one that the dragon rider that everyone likes. I forget the name, but the narrator sounded like my professor who taught me how to read and write. So with this narrator sounding like this person who I've looked up to, oh my gosh, it just made it worse, especially with the earphones in. And it's creepy. It's creepy. I don't see how people can like this character and the sorts of things that they do. That's it for my look at top 10 male characters that I don't like in fiction. I can't touch on all the things that I don't like. That's just too lengthy. I have a lot of things that I do like. Some of these examples, as again said through the video, sometimes the character is extremely flawed and then develops over the story. Otherwise, sometimes when someone does something that's just plain dumb, I can't get into the story. And the same with the other one about sexual conquests. I've touched on this before with 50 First Dates. You can't tell me that someone with that many conquests is going to suddenly see a girl and not be a complete piece of